I am very excited to formally announce that for the next 10 plus episodes of the Cole Memo, I will be focusing on a fascinating new subject. When I first started the Cole Memo, I made it very clear that I did not intend to focus only on cannabis or drug policy. If you've read the description of this podcast, you'll know that the Cole Memo is the home for open discussions on civil liberties. I am so excited to announce that I will be releasing a series of episodes where I will be focusing on a new topic, and that topic is legal sex work. This series will mark a brief departure from drug policy almost entirely. I couldn't help myself. I definitely bring up the topic of drug policy throughout this series on legal sex work. Believe it or not, there are several forms of legal sex work that exist in the United States today. Gentlemen's clubs, sometimes called strip clubs, are a legal form of sex work. OnlyFans is a legal form of sex work. Pornography, as you might have guessed, is a legal form of sex work. So, you can pay to have sex with somebody as long as a camera is present. If you pay somebody for sex without a camera present, in most of the United States, you and the sex worker can be charged with a crime. In other words, if a camera is present during relations, then your sex is considered art. If a camera is not present and you pay somebody for sex, then your sex is considered a crime.
Let's do it.
Both of you are under arrest for prostitution.
It's not prostitution.
You paid her to have sex.
No, I paid her to have sex and we're filming it. So technically it's not prostitution, it's a porno.
Oh, well, as long as you're filming and selling it, it's legal. Enjoy your day. Remember, kids, she's not a whore if she's an actress.
Nevada is the only state in the United States of America where you can legally procure sex at licensed locations within the state. During this series of episodes, we will be focusing on this form of legal sex work. If you're wondering why I've honed in on this topic, it's because there are a large number of similarities between the legal sex industry and the legal cannabis industry. It's because in both industries, the customers get fucked, right? Well, while that might be true in some or most cases, these are not the similarities that I plan to hone in on. I plan to ask about the working conditions and the state of the industry. What's it like to work in an industry that remains illegal in most of the United States? Here is a quick background on how this became the law of the land in Nevada.
Brothel prostitution has been a part of Nevada's experience going back to its territorial period as early as 1861. And for the most part, it was tolerated. When men came to the frontier, a large number of women looking for the opportunity of making money followed the miners to, in particularly Virginia City and the Comstock, but certainly some of the outlying communities. Now, it wasn't legal, but there were provisions made for regulation. It was kind of a gray zone endeavor. World War II. Remember, it's tolerated. Legalization doesn't come to 1971. The local option, or the state allowing this to happen, now the federal government comes into play. You've got a war, you've got military installations throughout Nevada. You have young men from Iowa and Georgia, Maryland, and mothers and fathers and the federal government. They're worried about the spread of venereal disease. They're worried about the appearance, all these different kinds of things. And so the brothels were closed down. Oh, of course, that didn't mean prostitution disappeared. It just went underground. It was the work of Joe Conforti, the brothel owner of the Mustang, who helped support the candidacy of one District Attorney, Virgil Bucaneri, and worked together, and Virgil drafted an ordinance, and it was put on the docket for the Story County Commissioners, and in late 1970, on a 2-to-1 vote, they legalized brothel prostitution, and this is very important. It now had the standing of any other business effective January 1, 1971, and other counties followed suit, Lyon County and down the line. What it meant for other brothel owners is they couldn't be closed on a whim. The brothel business had the same protection as a casino or a restaurant or a furniture store.
I started these interviews last year and have come to form my own thoughts and opinions about the industry. But before I share my perspective with you, I wanted to share the conversations that I had so that you can hear everything as I heard it, from the perspective of a licensed sex worker. The next few episodes will feature conversations with several licensed sex workers from Nevada's legal sex industry. The first conversation will feature Tori Lisa, who called in from a licensed brothel in Nevada, a first for our show. Tune into the conversation with Tori and stay tuned as I release conversations with other licensed sex workers, including actual sex workers, managers, and staff members at licensed brothels in the state of Nevada. The series will conclude with an interview that I had with an owner of a brothel in Nevada. That owner invited me to the brothel and allowed me to capture content on site. Stay tuned for that episode, which will feature a tour of a brothel and several interviews with licensed sex workers, staff, and, of course, the owner of the brothel. After I share all of the interviews that I've conducted so far, I plan to make a follow-up episode that includes my raw thoughts and takeaways from these conversations, experiences, and more. And because this is something new that I'm doing, this is a great time to remind you that you can contact me at thecolememo.com/contact. You can send me your feedback. You can send me whatever. I have been so fascinated by this topic over the past year, and I think you're going to find it fascinating too. Please remember, above all else, these are people. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. However you're approaching these conversations, whatever your opinions are on sex work, the people that I spoke to were people. So I hope you enjoy this series of episodes. Please let me know what you think about all this, the topic itself, the coverage, whatever. Send us your feedback at thecolememo.com/contact and enjoy our series on the legal sex industry in America. Y'all ready for this?